Hey everyone, welcome in. This is Julie Max. I'm the main stamper. I am here for Thursday at 3. I am so excited to be sharing with you another really easy fun fold. Now you know how much I love fun folds. If you follow me at all, fun folds are awesome. I am not into the intricate, difficult. I'm not going to put together hi Jess, I'm not going to put together a 4-hour card with you here. I like to spend Thursdays, a quick 15-20 minute card is all we really need, because that way, if you're at home creating and you don't have hours and hours and hours to come up with an awesome card, you might have 15 or 20 minutes, which is all you really need to do a really fun fold. Now we've been playing with the Bag of Bones bundle. So this is another take on this little backwards on the camera here, skeleton man. Now you can kind of see, hopefully you can see there's some depth and dimensions here. I'm going to turn the card this way. This is a column card. So you can see here, there's like a see-through piece right there through the column. So what's really fun about this is not only is it 3D and it sits up really nicely, like if you had this on your shelf or your countertop, whatever, it sits really nicely. It's got a nice stance. It also squishes flat to be put into an envelope. It fits into an envelope. And then when you open it back up, this little column pops back open. We're going to take a look at this over at my workspace. This one is really fun, super quick and easy to put together. And I really enjoyed it. I'm planning to do, hi Lori, so glad you can watch me today. I'm planning to do a whole bunch of these in different seasons and themes. So if you're not into the skeletons, the Halloween is not your thing, think about changing up, again, colors, designer paper, themes. You can make these in any season, any color for anyone. They're so much fun. So let's get over to my workspace. I'm going to encourage you to keep saying hi as you jump on. I'd love to know who's watching me. All right, let me switch you over and we're going to talk about the Bag of Bones a little bit. So if this card looks familiar, again, this is what it looks like if it was sitting up on my desk here. See how nicely it sits? It's got this little column here right in the middle. And then again, it will fold flat. This is an A2 size envelope, regular envelope, right? Here's another card that I've made that's kind of similar but different. Fits in here. This one also will fit in here. Now it's going to be poofy. Mine has dimension to it. You don't have to necessarily add dimension to it. Mine's a little bit poofier, but it'll still work. That's the point here. It is perfect. The back of this is actually the same size as the back of this, right? So they are the same size card backing. It's just how you form the front that makes it super fun and super fun. Back to our little other cards here. So I've been playing with Bag of Bones this week. You may recognize this card that I made on Monday with the little doggy coming out of the crypt or tomb, right? So I've got the dog and cat here, different colors here, but kind of the same. And then for my fun fold card, I'm gonna fold him this way for a second, so it's extra long. You're gonna see I've got the skeleton, the cat, and I've used my little embellishments. I still have a few packs of these left if you want my special this week to get my card kits. These glow in the dark ghosts and bats and ghosts are no longer available in the mini catalog, and we aren't even close to Halloween yet. I do have a few that I'm offering as the free embellishment with my card kits of the week. If you're interested, please check out my information or ask me for more. Anyway, back to the little doggy here. So here he is coming out of this card, but I've actually heat embossed the sentiment, eat, shriek, and be scary. So that's where I'm hiding my sentiment for this card. How cute is that, right? So skeleton, cat, dog. And now I'm doing a little poll on Positive Paper Crafters today. Cat or dog? And a lot of you are dog fans. I have very few cat fans. So if you're a cat fan, you might want to get over there and vote for the cat. Poor kitty. Not getting much love today. Here's a couple other cards from my class on Monday in case you missed it. This one is not embossed, it's just stamped, but it is die cut. I love the little fence. We've got Boo to You. That's another sentiment in the stamp set. Here's my extra long skeletons. I made them super long. So this, again, it's the same stamp as this one, but I elongated my skeletons. I showed you a trick on Monday for doing that. And my color swap really wasn't a color swap this week. My color swap was taking the card kit, this exact same card kit, and I flipped the designer paper. So the back of this little white and black paper had purple flowers on it. I chose a different stamp set, but I kept the colors exactly the same. And I took my card kit, and instead of doing Halloween, I did something different. And I just wanted to share with you that when you get my card kits at home, you don't want to do Halloween, you can do something different. You can have beautiful cards just like this with a little bit of creativity. So if you're interested in my host code to get my special offer, just let me know. That's going to expire tomorrow. And today we're focusing on the Bag of Bones column fold card. Now this is called column fold because it's like a little column here. Some people call it a pillar. So I guess it's interchangeable. It's like potato, potato. I'm calling it a column. So if you want to call it a pillar, you sure can. This came in your email newsletter on Thursdays. I give you the newsletter of the card that I'm creating with you live. And it's got pictures that it's going to help you to assemble and some notes, right? We've got directions, the supplies I used, which you're free to swap out, and then the card recipe so you know what the recipe is. This will have your cutting and scoring, and that's really like the most important thing, especially since we're doing something kind of technical and tricky. I have a few pieces die cut ahead, but we're going to doctor them up. You can see the difference here, hopefully. This is pebbled path, this is pebbled path. Totally different. We're going to add some ink and make it fancy. There are two pieces to this, and that's going to help us to make our little door here. So I'm going to talk to you about how to make that really quickly and easily. I did up my skeleton, my doggy, and my kitty earlier. Now this is black cardstock, and I just heat embossed with white embossing powder and die cut them out. Here are the bones of our card. I talk about the bones of our card all the time. I'm using Starry Sky. I'm also using Them Bones Designer Series paper. Now this will be back in stock soon. It's got some really awesome Halloween designs in it. It's got a really awesome plaid. I love that plaid one, right? Some houndstooth, all kinds of good stuff in it. So if you're looking for Halloween paper, it should be back in stock before you need it. Now we're going to talk about cutting our 8.5 by 11 paper to get the card base. This is what our card base is going to look like. So it's not quite the normal card base at all, right? So if this was cut in half, this would be 4 1/4. We would cut it 4 1/4 to do the hot dog cut on this piece, but we're not doing the hot dog cut. We're doing something totally different. And I wanted to cut one with you just to show you. So we need our 11-inch length to be 10 1/8. And I'm just going to open the arm up to my trimmer, and I'm going to bring it over here to 10 1/8. It's just easier for me to go. My recipe says 10 1/8. I don't want to do the math to go. I need to cut off 7/8 of an inch. That's what you would cut off on this end if you were cutting off on this end. So 10 1/8 right there. And then we have a scrap like this. Save your scraps. They are good for all kinds of things. Now it's telling us that we need 5 1/2. So I'm just going to put this in at 5 1/2. So you can see that it's a different paper cut, right? So now we have our 5 1/2 by 10 1/8. Now we're going to score it. So we are going to score it per our directions, and our directions are going to tell us 4 1/4 is our first score. So I'm just going to shift some things around on my desk. Hopefully we're still in sight here. Yes, we are good. 4 1/4. So here's 4 1/4. Do not use the cutting blade. We're going to use the scoring blade at 4 1/4. We're going to move on to 5 3/4, scoring again. Now we're going to move on to 7 1/4. So we're just moving our paper right down the track. We are not flipping it. We're not rotating it. And now we're going to go to 8 3/4. So all the way down to 8 3/4. We're almost there. Here we go. 8 3/4. Okay. So those are our 4 score lines. If I fold them up a little bit, you're going to see them here. So you're going to see that the 4 score lines take up more space than this piece right here. This is your card. This is the size of your regular card front. This piece right here, right? We have 4 score lines. I don't think I need this anymore. I do. I will set that aside. I won't put it too far. I do need it. All right. So we have our beautiful card base scored. We're ready to go. Now I cut paper here, and I suggested you cut a piece of Designer Series paper at 3 by 5 1/4. Now you don't need a full 3 inches. Some of this will be covered over when we fold our little column over. But I felt that like cutting it at 3 inches was just a nice generic number, easily divisible by your 6 or 12 piece of Designer Series paper. When we put it on here, we're going to focus on matting it here onto the right side of this big section that wasn't scored. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put this on here now. On the back side, we have bats. I chose the kind of like the background graveyard paper, and depending on which section you cut, it's going to look different each time. So just, you know, kind of think about that, but it can definitely be done. So here it is, beautiful, right? So you can see that once we put our tombstone on here, it's going to cover up. We still have a little bit of sky. This one happens to have the moon, which is awesome. And it's got a little bit of the gate here. So we are going to be putting our tombstone over top of some of these, but I'll still have the beautiful sky showing, which will be fantastic. All right, so this is, I'm calling this the front of the card, right? Because this is what we look at when we see the front. Now we're going to flip it over to the back side, and we're going to work with the score lines on the back, and the designer paper, whatever you choose to fill in your columns. You can see here that I chose all of the same pattern. You can choose different patterns. These 3 papers are cut at 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. And again, if you wanted to do different things, you sure could. You could flip them around. Do however you want. I'm just going to show you my simple trick here to know which of these 4, there's 4 sections here, which of them need to have something put on them. So we're going to number them 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm using a white gel pen, so hopefully you can see that. 1, 2, 3, 4, because sometimes the score lines are hard to read. So here we are. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the section right here that has my designer paper on it. And we are going to glue our paper down onto 1, 2, and 3. We're not going to glue anything designer paper to number 4. So this will help you as you're working from the back, just to know, where am I putting this designer paper, Julie? This is like super fantastic. I love the little visuals that I'm throwing into my recipes. And I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that when I pull this card recipe out in 6 months and I'm like, oh my gosh, how the heck did I put this together? I'm going to pull out my recipe, look at my little cheat sheet pictures. I'm going to be like, oh, thank goodness I don't have to watch another 20-minute video. I can just read this and go. And I'm hoping that you feel the same. So this paper really is, it's kind of funny. It looks crooked, but that's by design. So don't think I put it on crooked. 1, 2, and 3 are all set. Number 4, just hanging out here waiting for some adhesive. So we're going to go ahead and glue number 4. Number 4 is going to be the glue that holds our column together. Now, when we flip it back over, so again, back, front, right? I'm going to hold some of these together and some of these are going to be a little bit different. So I'm basically folding these in half, right? So I've got 2 sections here. I've got a section with my glue here. So I'm going to flip this over just like this. So I've got 3 and 4 here, 1 and 2 are on the back. And I'm just going to hold this down like this and I'm going to fold my card right on top of the glue. So you don't have to line anything up. You don't have to do anything tricky. You just flip and press, right? So we're pressing that adhesive, whether you're using tape or glue, we're pressing that down. And then when we open it back up, we have our column. So we just glued that right down perfectly. Now we have our column just like that. It was that simple, right? Was that simple? I hope you guys are looking at that going, whoa, magic. Now this is where the fun, so you can flip it back this way, right? So you can decorate it. We can put our little guys on here. Oh, dimensionals. I totally forgot about dimensionals. I chose dimensionals. Now these could be glued on. Of course you can do other things too. I could just glue these on flat. I just wanted to have a little depth here to make this pop-up 3D scene really pop up. Now I don't have any black dimensionals would be perfect here for the back of my paper. I don't have them. So I'm hoping the white just looks like more bones in case somebody sees them. We're going to pop this on here, this little skeleton guy. Now, if he hangs over a little bit, it's okay, because when we fold him to mail him, he's here. When he's open, he's here. That's all good, right? We're going to put our little kitty cat down. Kitty cat, I do have some mini of the black dimensionals, so we're going to pop these onto kitty cat, because the doggy's going to be creeping out here a little bit from our little crypt that we're going to doctor up here shortly. So I hope that this is a really cool card concept. I don't know if anyone has ever tried this column card. A lot of these things are always new to me. I'm like, oh, cool. Okay, kitty cat's right there. So I've got 1 and 2. So depending on how you're looking at this, right? It's almost 3D. I could put something here too if I want to. Actually, I probably could put another kitty on there. That would be so cute. All right, let's doctor up our little tomb crypt scene here. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring in Pebbled Path ink. This is Pebbled Path cardstock. I've got a sponge dauber, and this, if you watched my Monday night video, this is exactly how I did the card on the other one too. I am just throwing ink on willy-nilly, right? No particular pattern, and I'm just I'm roughing it. Like, right, I want it to look like it's a little bit dingy. Maybe there's some mold growing on it, right? I just want it to be dark and different, right? So I'm doing that to these 2 pieces. So this doesn't have to take a lot of time, doesn't have to take a lot of thought. You could probably be watching TV while you're doing this. Now I am going to do the back, and I'm doing the back because I am using this as an open door. So when you flip this door open, on my original card, you can see that I've sponged that side too, right? I've added ink to both sides so it's consistent. Okay, so there is my little, it's so much better. I just love to add ink to cardstock. I think it's just so much better. We're going to actually heat emboss together our sentiment now, so we're going to do that real quick, and I'm going to show you how I created the door And we're going to finish up our card. Easy peasy. So anytime you're heat embossing, I highly recommend the little Emboss Buddy. It's going to remove some of those staticies from your cardstock. And I've got Eat, Shriek, and Be Scary. I think Boo to You would also work in this instance. Boo to You would work. As I'm thinking about it, maybe I should have done Boo to You. Let's do that. Can we do that real quick? Yes, we can. I'm going to grab out another block. Let's change it up to Boo to You. And the only reason I'm going to do that is because I have a couple of grandsons in mind for these Halloween cards. And that way they can each have a different sentiment. All right, we're doing Boo to You. So we're going to just change it up a little bit. So we're putting the Boo to You into our Versamark. And it's just going to come on here. I'm going to keep it toward the top because I do want my little doggy to be popped out at the bottom here. So we're going to just scoop on a little bit of powder. I feel like I have a lot of extra powder. Okay, we're going to just go with this here. I might need a paintbrush to brush a little bit of this off. I think the extra ink kind of helped hold up some of the static there. Okay, I feel like we're good. Let me get my heat tool going. I'm going to check messages real quick to see who's watching and saying hi to me. I have Jess and Lori. Woohoo! Thanks for hanging in there with me, guys. You're awesome. All right, somewhere I should have some reverse tweezers, right? So we're just going to emboss the Boo to You. A little boo here. It's a little crooked, but I think we're good. Oh, you know what? I just realized a total, this is incorrect. But I'm going to do something else. Okay, so this is a live video. And I want to just let you guys know a secret. When I did this card yesterday, this was an afterthought. I actually did this after the entire card was done. I thought, oh, I want to get a sentiment in there. The entire card, everything was on this card. And I'm like, oop, I'm changing it up. All right, now we're really changing it up. Because I need to have my sentiment on this piece right here, not the door. So now I'm going to have to go through and doctor the door on my other card, but I'm going to do that later. So we're going to start over. Eat, Shriek, and Be Scary. So you should be embossing the big background, not the door. Although now you can see that either or both, really, right, will work. Okay, my Emboss Buddy worked a lot better that time. So we're just going with this here. We're just going with this. All right, that one's done. Let's bring in the heat one more time. And we're going to just do Eat, Shriek, and Be Scary on the background. So this will match my first card. And you can see that really, there's really no accidents in the crafting world, right? Everything is awesome. We just make it work. All right, so there is Eat, Shriek, and Be Scary. And there is where I want this to be. Okay, now let's see if I've got everything else figured out. So the Boo to You is going to be on the inside, which is really going to be cute. We're going to trim, not trim, we're going to score this. Now I'm all miscombobulated. We're going to score this. I'm putting this into my paper trimmer with the top of this up at the top of my trimmer. Hopefully you can see that, yeah. And then 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just lining this up over here on the left side, 1/4 of an inch, scoring, only scoring. So this is giving me an extra score line. And when I bend it over, right, you can see just that little bit of an extra score line. Boo to You is still gonna show, so we're good. Now I'm gonna glue just this little bit of the score line here. Probably went a little heavy on the glue, so I'm gonna just back some of that off and hold it on my finger for a minute. And I'm gonna line this back up on here. And the door fits perfectly in the little notches it's just meant to be, right? So here we go. When we open it on one side, I'm gonna let that dry for just a second while I grab a baby wipe for my finger because stickiness. And I forgot to mention, hopefully I have one still. And if not, we'll just do it later. But I had a little tiny, if I can find the die, I had, hold please. Yes, here it is. The little die, the little dog bone dies. I noticed that when I die cut this last, I left a little tiny dog bone in here. I used the glow in the dark paper, and there's a little bone in here. So I'm going to pop that out. So I have a tiny little bone here now that I can put on as a door handle. I just thought that would be super cute. I probably should have left some of the glue on my fingers and just transferred that over to this. This is also super tiny, right? Don't need a lot of glue. We're just going to put a little doggy bone door handle there. And I'm just going to kind of pull that off. Now I'm saying it's a doggy bone because the dog is going to come out of here, but really it's a bone, right? So here's my little bone door holder. When we open this up, we've got Boo to You on this side, and we've got Eat, Shriek, and Be Scary. So hopefully you can see that. I don't want to bend it too much because I want to make sure that that's drying well. So this is going to go on my card, again, with dimensionals, and you don't have to. You could put this on flat if you wanted to, but of course I wanted to have that little bit of extra lift. Do I have a couple more dimensionals in here? I sure do. I'm going to just clean up my sheet here a little bit. I'm going to take the backings off of here and pop this onto our card just over here. Now this card, depending again where you're cutting your paper, you can see I've got a couple of tombstones here. This is just going to kind of nestle in. So it's just going to be another tombstone amongst the tombstones. You're just not really going to see the words as much. So now it looks like it's like a busy cemetery. This is a busy cemetery. All right, we're going to put little doggy in, and he's just going to get a little bit of glue on the back end of him, maybe toward the middle of his body, and he's going to just kind of be popping out over here. Just like that. So you can kind of, when it's closed, you can see him. And when it's open, we've got Boo to You, Eat, Shriek, and Be Scary, right? So there is the bones of our card. Now the only thing I'm missing here, of course, is the embellishments. So I would be popping on those glow in the dark embellishments just like that. But here are the 2 column cards. You can see that, you know, you can be creative. These don't all have to be die cuts. They can be whatever you want them to be, but you can definitely doctor these up, make your little column cards, change it all up, and have fun with it. So there it is, the column fold card. Liking it. Hi Linda, hi Sam. This is a really cute card. Sam, we're gonna be talking more about this at our team meeting tonight too. So I hope that you're there, which is gonna be awesome. Team meeting tonight. Anybody from my team that's watching, we're doing our team meeting first Thursday of the month. Anybody that's interested in checking out the team meeting and you want the Zoom link to hang out with us at 7 o'clock, about 7 to 8 o'clock, we're gonna be doing some fun things with the team meeting tonight. And there is a really great join special with Stampin' Up. So if you're thinking about being on my team, this is a great time to meet everybody and see what we do on the back end, right? I mean, you guys see me do so many things, but you don't see me do everything because I have separate groups where I'm like, you're a private group of these people and you're a private group of this club and you're my team and we're going to do these things. And so there's a lot that goes on in the world of the Maine Stamper. So thank you for sharing this little Thursday at 3 with me though. So I'm always public Thursday at 3. I do a Monday class as well. And you see lots of my social media throughout the week. You see emails and what have you, but there's always things that I am working on. So don't ever think I'm not thinking about you and all of your stamping needs. Okay, good. I'm so glad you're excited, Sam, for the meeting. All right, that was our card today. We did pretty good. I tried to get it in within 15 to 20 minutes. Fun column card. I hope you're enjoying this. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll read through your comments and answer them. And I will be back next week's going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to talk to you about next week just yet, but next week's going to be a little bit different. And I like to keep you guessing because it's kind of fun that way. All right, everybody, until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, share the love. Bye.